All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel. Thanks for watching, talking about real music and doing it in real time for a few real people out here, just like you and just like me. So, John Anderson, one of the few very viable old dudes out there singing. A couple of people said to me, you got to stop talking about age. You're getting older, everyone's getting older, and age is a part of life, and you got to deal with it and so forth. And, it almost sounds like ageism, what you're talking about. Well, I mean, if you had a 60-year-old who is trying to throw fastballs, right, in the major leagues, wouldn't you start to wonder, hey, he's a little old for this sport, um, and he can't throw the fastball anymore? And that's the analogy I'm making here. There are singers out there like John Anderson who are able to deliver at a very high level at their age, but they are few. And most of the time, when we're watching these people, we're saying, yeah, it's good for what it is, or man, they're doing a great job for their age. And it's just something that is kind of like a self evident truth. In the case of John Anderson, though, this is a guy who I think was more or less kicked out of his own band, and that would be Yes. But what's interesting is he says he's open to reuniting with both Rick Wakeman and Steve Howe. He made that statement last year. Uh, he says he was talking to his band, known as the Band Geeks, which I think is pretty cool, and said, hopefully we can play in London and Steve will get up and do a couple of songs with us. Maybe Rick too. It just means talking. When I'm out there singing on my own, I still think I'm part of Yes. They still feel like my songs. Well, I think they are your songs. Of course, Anderson was replaced by John Davison. I mean, you couldn't find a guy who had a more similar name and probably a more similar voice. I mean, they replaced well. I mean, if you're going to find a guy to replace John Anderson, they chose the right guy. I like John Davison, but I'm also a huge fan of John Anderson. Now, what's cool about John Anderson and the Band Geeks is they've just announced a 2025 North American tour, the 18 show trek. They're going to do 18 shows, so not a lot. Begins in Tucson, Arizona, and goes into the month of May, starts in April. It'll wind down at the Carteret, New Jersey Performing Arts Center. So if you want to get tickets to go see John Anderson and the Band Geeks, obviously they're doing a lot of Yes music, and John has some excellent solo material out there. It says here the evening will consist of Yes epics and classics, as well as songs from the band's excellent debut album called True. If you haven't heard that, you really need to check it out. It was released back in August of last year. And of course, didn't get a lot of promotion or publicity because there is no support system. In the old days, you would put that on the radio, you'd play something old by Yes, and then you'd play this new track with John Anderson. So again, I think it's kind of cool that John is open to the idea of reuniting with the other guys. The question is, are the other guys open to reuniting with John Anderson? So we shall see. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Quick little video here. God bless everyone. Please pray for everybody out in California. Those wildfires are apocalyptic and insane, and we need to focus our attention and maybe our resources. I will put a link to how you can help those in California at this time. I know a lot of people are really hurting financially these days, but even if you can afford a few dollars, there are people other than Hollywood celebrities that are losing houses, and this is just a huge tragedy. So keep those people in your thoughts and your prayers.